Hey guys, welcome to Chibi Cardfight. My name is SableEcho and today I'm going to show you my GranBlue deck. Now today I'm going to be using a system called Cardfight Area. The reason is because I currently do not have the new GranBlue cards that were released yet, and so my deck is outdated. So I'm going to show you what I plan to make my deck once I get a hold of those cards. I hope you enjoy. Alright, so for grade 0s in our starting Vanguard we're going to go for Captain Nightkid. He's my favorite of the starting Vanguards because I get to look at the top 10 cards in my deck and pick one GranBlue from them and put them into the drop zone for just a counter blast. I think he's stronger than the others in my personal opinion, but it's up to you. So I put in a filler as well called Chappie the Ghosty. He's a 10,000 shield, and when you guard with him you get to pick one GranBlue from your deck and put him into the drop zone. I think he's strong because he lets you combo for stuff such as Ice Prison Necromancer, Cositis Reverse, Lord of the Seven Seas, Night Mist. I think he's strong in that aspect. For triggers, we're gonna run 12 crit. We're gonna run 4 Gold Cannonball, 4 Night Spirit, and 4 Rough Seas Banshee. And I'm gonna run 4 heals, Dr. Rouge. And the reason I run 12 crit is because I feel like GranBlue doesn't work too well with draw triggers, because I feel most of your power comes from the drop zone and not from your hand. And stand triggers, I don't like running stand triggers just because I like the immense power you get from the 12 crit, and I think GranBlue needs that a lot more than they need the chance at a second attack. Alright, so we have 18 grade 0s. Hopefully my math doesn't suck. That's it. So we're going to move on to grade 1s. We're going to have 2 Rough Seas Banshees. Alright, she's a 6,000, and when you call her from the rear guard to the rear guard from the drop zone, you Soul Blast 1 and you get to draw a card. I think that's very good. You have 4 Dandy Guy Romarios, your AK vanilla. It's pretty basic. Good boost, strong punch early on. You have your 4 perfect guards. Ours is Gus Jin. I think at this point, I think 4 perfect guards is pretty basic and essential. You know, it's pretty much a staple in every Vanguard deck. So. And then we have 4 7k Samurai Spirits. He's got a decent effect. You counter blast 1 and you get to retire a rear guard and then call him from your drop zone. I don't like his effect too much. I rarely use it, but I think it's still strong, and regardless of whether you use it or not, he's still a good 7k booster, which is very good. Excuse me, I'm pretty sick today. Alright, so that's going to give us 14 grade 1s. Alright, so then we're going to move on to our grade 2s. We're going to have 4 vanilla Commodore Blue Bloods, 10k vanilla. And we're going to have Ruin Shade, which I think she is another staple in the GranBlue deck. She's a 9k that you can mill 2 cards from the top of your deck when you attack, and she gets plus 2,000, making her, without a boost, an 11k beater. Most of the more powerful cards these days have a power of 11,000, which makes her really strong because she doesn't necessarily need a boost. So if you are not able to power up both your rows, you can use her by herself in one row and then power up another row, so you can save yourself from wasting cards while at the same time hitting the enemy for all you've got. And then I'm going to run 2 Skeleton Demon World Knights. I think I prefer him over someone like Deadly Spirit because he doesn't have the best effect, but I feel he's good if you're in a pinch. At 9,000 power, he's a good grade 2, you know, pretty decent. But if your opponent gets ahead of you and they beat you to a grade 3, he lets you discard a GranBlue and then ride Cositis from your drop zone. Ice Prison Necromancer Cositis. You get the superior ride him onto Demon World during your ride phase. That makes him really strong. But it's a very situational effect, so you don't get to use it much. So it's up to you whether you run him or not. I like to run him just because I think that effect could be helpful during a pinch. So we've got 10 grade 2s, and now we're going to run to our grade 3s. We're going to run 4 Lord of the Seven Seas Night Mist. He is GranBlue's first break ride. Limit break 4 in GranBlue rides this unit. You choose it, and then he gets plus 10,000, you know. But then it also lets you call 2 GranBlue from your drop zone and call them to the rear guard circle, and they get plus 5,000 power. which makes him really strong there, but they retire at the end of the turn. Now, while that's not fun, he creates a very strong one-turn effect. Plus, if you call any cards that happen to have effects which activate when they're called from the drop zone, say Rough Seas Banshee, you get to activate those bonus effects as well, which is very helpful and good. Alright, so next we're going to run 2 Ice Prison Necromancer Cositus. He's got the basic limit break, you know, when he attacks, he gets a Vanguard, he gets plus 5,000 powers, nothing special about that. But when you call him, or when you ride him, you get the Counterblast 2, and you get to choose a GranBlue from a drop zone, and call it to a rearguard circle, which makes him pretty strong. Counterblast 2 is a bit heavy, but it's well worth it, I would think, because it lets you get that strong ally on your field that you need for whatever situation. And then we're going to have 2 Ice Prison Dark Lord Cositus Reverse. Now, he's also very powerful. His limit break, you put the top 3 cards from your deck in your drop zone, and you get to choose one of your GranBlues and lock it. Now, that doesn't sound like a fun cost. The effect is more than well worth it. You get to choose one GranBlue from your drop zone, call it to the rearguard circle, and that unit gets power plus 3,000 until the end of the turn. And this unit that is called is not retired, so it's very strong. While the power boost is temporary, you can repeatedly activate this effect and build up your field. And while it'll be a little weaker due to the locked cards, the turn after, you'll have a very good setup. Plus, he's 11k beater, and if you happen to have Cositus in your soul, Ice Prison Necromancer Cositus, he becomes a 13k beater, which makes him really strong. So you can do many combos and many strategies and effects with this deck, and I just feel GranBlue is very fun. I think it's efficient, and it's pretty cheap. I don't know if the prices have really shot up since the new cards, but for the most part, this isn't a really expensive deck. So if you're looking for a good cheap deck, I suggest GranBlue. I just personally think it's really fun. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my deck profile of the GranBlue. This is my own specifics. I'll be sure to make changes soon. I'll be sure to be posting videos of me and my friends doing fights on here on Chibi Cardfight. So if you're looking forward to that, just stay tuned and we'll be posting them shortly. Until then, I hope you enjoyed the video and